Alright, so today we're going to be taking a closer look at the SmallRig RC220B. This is a 220 watt cob light from SmallRig. It's fairly compact. It's about a perfect cube here. On the back here it does have a V-mount plate that you can mount V-mount batteries on. On this side it has a control panel for color temperature control and volume and mode. And then there it has a glass element that protects the cob light underneath. It's also, that glass element also does focus the light a little bit into more of a spot. On here we have some 220 watt branding on that side, and then a basic neck on the bottom here. So let's get into some of the features here, starting with the V-mount plate here. And what is very fascinating about this light is that the way that it powers off the wall is utilizing a faux V-mount battery that uses a wall outlet. So when you pop this onto the back, that's what it looks like when you're going to be powering off of mains power. It's basically just like a dummy battery, a dummy V-mount battery or a power supply. And then this plugs into mains. So that's what that looks like. But what's cool about the mains power also being a V-mount, the mains power being V-mount, is that that's also a V-mount mount that works for V-mount batteries. So I got right here a KNF Concept 99 watt hour V-mount battery. You can see it just pops right on there. Interfaces just like the mains power, but now you're completely off grid. You can run the battery just standalone with a V-mount battery. So standard 99 watt hour 100 watt V-mount batteries like this one here and some of the SmallRig ones, they can only power this light at, I'll turn it on so you can showcase that. So see, it's on V-mount. This is, see how it says 68%. That's the maximum that this light can run on a 100 watt output V-mount battery, is 68%. The light does run perfectly fine. I did do a test and I was able to get about 30 minutes of runtime on a 99 watt hour battery here at 68%, which is max. That's pretty solid for about one simple interview. If you have two of them, then you could probably do a couple of interviews. Turn it down into 30% range, which is probably more what you'd be looking at for an interview. You should be able to get upwards of 1 hour of runtime off of a V-mount, which is pretty great. So power it off, and now we can just pop that V-mount off. It's a pretty quick power switching method, so you should be able to swap batteries pretty quick if you have multiple on a shoot. So yeah, I love that it has a V-mount interface here for mains and battery. I think that's just super cool. And then on the front here, we do have a standard Bowens Mount on the front there, which can interface with, this is a 30-inch umbrella softbox light. And this has a standard Bowens Mount built right in there. So you can just line that up. It locks right in. Super solid. I have had no issues with this slipping or having issues with it staying on or staying sturdy, and especially in wind or in sticky situations. It works great. It's got a strong grip, and then it's just got a release latch on the top here. Just do that release latch and it lets go of your Bowens Mount accessory. So that's pretty cool. It's built right into the body of it, so it doesn't add any size to the light because it's built in within the light, which is really great. Also, the cob light goes a little bit into the softbox, so you get a little bit better diffusion. It's overall implemented really well. Power on and off switch on the bottom here. And then, yeah, let's move on to this part on the bottom. This is a really robust neck on the bottom here. I've had no issues with upwards of 60-inch softbox on the front of this, and I've had no issues with it having trouble staying up or having it sag over time. This locks in super tight. Like, this is all aluminum, all metal, so super strong. And then also the locking mechanism here for locking it onto C-stands or some type of rigging. No issues with that. Super strong grip, no wobble. Everything on here is super sturdy, and it's really affixed to it really well. You can also see the heat sink inside of here. It's got a fan on the inside. The fan isn't too loud. I've noticed that at about 50% power, so about 80 watts, It's definitely not audible, and no matter how close you are to your subject. At 100%, 220 watts, it's the same volume, so it doesn't get any louder. So I've had no issues with the fan noise for sensitive microphones for interviews. It's definitely quiet enough to not be a problem. And then going back to the handle here, it also does have right here a pass-through for umbrella rods. So you can install an umbrella onto the front here if you want to do a bounce instead of a softbox pass-through. So it's really nice. This is all metal. This is plastic, but this is all metal. So I have a 72-inch umbrella, which is massive. It's literally the floor to ceiling of a room. And this is strong enough to support that. No issues with sagging, no issues with it drooping. Super strong. I'm really happy with this mount altogether. And then also you can kit this light out with a SmallRig control panel. And basically what that does is it comes with one of these standard 4-pin type interface pins, and you can plug it into the light there on the bottom. And basically you'd have it on a stand here with this coming out the bottom, and you'd basically run this cable down the C-stand or down the from the ceiling, wherever if you have the light mounted on a ceiling or really high up, you can run this cable down the pole. And then on this, let me just pop a V-mount on here so you can see how it operates. So the light does power, the light powers the control panel, which is great. So on here you can control the intensity, see going up and down. You can control color temp and frequency and effects. You can do reset, and it tells you on the screen there everything that you need to know about what it's doing. And you can also turn the light on and off. The fan does stay on when you switch it off, which is nice, so it can be cooling off when you have it off. But say you're ready to shoot, the light's high up so you can't reach it, ready to shoot, you can just pop it on with this mounted at the base of your C-stand. And then it also does come with a magnetic ring here and a magnetic C-clamp that you can clamp onto a C-stand. And then this magnetically just pops on, kind of like MagSafe for an iPhone. So that's great if you were to mount this on the ceiling, or if you have your C-stand, say 10 or 12 feet up and you can't reach the light. This is really great for just doing quick adjustments, changing channels, color temperature. So your DP can be like, hey, give me some more power, change color temp. It's really convenient and great. You can also hold it while doing that, which is pretty nice. So you could also be interviewing and standing there while interviewing, and if the light changes in the room, you can change it live while you're holding it. So that's a really great feature. You don't have to leave the camera. You can even mount this on your tripod and control the light from if you're a single man band just filming all alone. Yeah, I'm gonna power it off there. This is just super simple to pop out, so you can just use this when you need it, when you need more reach. And then you take this little latch button on the side here, pop the V-mount off, and we're back down. It's pretty small, pretty compact light. For 220 watts, it's fairly compact. And then also it does come with a SmallRig bag, which has a place to store the light. And then I'm just gonna grab really quick. It also does come with a reflector type hood. So in this cage, you can store this hood, the power supply, and the light. So that's great for transmit. It's a really nice fabric bag with a nice gauge zipper. So this will actually last quite a long time. Really great value add for this light. But this is what the included cone looks like. So it pops onto that native Bowens mount, just like the umbrella did. And this has a focusing array in it. So this focuses the light into a tighter, almost, it's not quite a spotlight, but it is tighter than without. It definitely reduces the amount of side light that is spreading into the room, and it makes it a lot more direct. So that's great if you're trying to light something on a stage from a long distance away. And it also increases the brightness of that spotlight because it's more focused through this lens array. This is a great light. I've had no issues with it. I've used it. I've had it run at 100% for many hours, and I've never had it overheat. I've never had it get loud. Never had issues with it color accuracy. It matches my higher end lights flawlessly. It has a 96 Let me check it real quick just for fact checking. It has a 95 plus CRI, which means that it's a fairly color accurate light when it comes to daylight and warm light. It can go from 2700 to 6500, so that's a pretty nice range there for the light. So if you'd like to pick one of these up for yourself, I will have the link in the description for the umbrellas, the battery, the light. All those will be in the description to Amazon. Just use those links to pick these up. It does help out the channel greatly. And yeah, I hope that this video was helpful if you're trying to make a decision on what light to get. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the description and drop a like. And thank you for watching.